You are the captain of the Defiant. It is the last ship, a museum piece with guns, the final human vessel in a galaxy that has forgotten humanity. Your command chair groans under your weight. It is a sound you know better than your own heartbeat. The bridge is quiet, not the clean, efficient quiet of a new vessel. This is the tired silence of old machinery. The air recyclers hum a weary tune. Every surface is worn smooth by generations of hands. You trace a crack in the armrest, a scar older than your youngest crew member. Your ship is a creature of rust and wire. Patches cover other patches. Systems are coaxed into life, not commanded. Yet she still flies. The Defiant, a name chosen in an age of hope. Now it feels like a final, bitter joke. On the main view screen, the void stares back, an endless velvet blackness dotted with uncaring stars. For 2 years you have run. You have hidden among dead worlds and nebulae. You have watched the last lights of human colonies wink out, one by one. Your crew is a skeleton crew, just 93 souls. They are the last remnants of the Grand Fleet. Engineers who learned their trade from dusty manuals. Pilots who trained in simulators that were already antiques. They are young. They are tired. But they are yours. You look over at Lena, your communications officer. She is staring at her console. Her face is illuminated by the soft green glow. She's searching for ghosts, listening for any signal that is not the enemy. She finds nothing. She never does. The silence on the bridge is broken by a soft chime. It is the proximity alert, a single polite tone that sends a spike of ice through your veins. Every head on the bridge snaps towards the main screen. You straighten up in your chair. The old leather protests again. There, a flicker, a distortion in the starlight. Something is coming, something that does not belong in the quiet dark. You do not need the long-range sensors to tell you what it is. You have seen it too many times. You lean forward. Your voice is calm, steady. It has to be. Report. Your tactical officer, a young man named Jax, speaks. His voice barely quavers. Multiple contacts, Captain. Unidentified signatures dropping out of warp, right on top of us. But you know their identity. Everyone on this bridge knows. The space ahead of you tears open, not with fire or thunder. It unfolds like a silver flower blooming in the dark, a perfect, seamless rift in reality. From it emerges a ship, and then another, and another. They are ships of the Gleam. They are not built. They are grown. Their hulls are like polished obsidian, not a seam, not a rivet, not a single imperfection. They move with an unnatural grace, silent, deadly, a fleet of razors in the dark. They arrange themselves in a perfect formation, a web of light and shadow that surrounds your wounded vessel. The Defiant suddenly feels very small, very old. You can almost feel the rust on its hull flaking away in their presence. Lena looks at you. Her eyes are wide. Captain, they are hailing us. Of course they are. They always play with their food. On screen, Lena. Audio only. You will not give them the satisfaction of seeing your face. The voice that fills the bridge is not a voice. It is a chorus of synthesized tones, a melody of pure, cold logic. It is beautiful in its own way, and utterly terrifying. Human vessel. Designated. Defiant. The voice pauses, as if tasting the word. Your flight is over. Your species has reached its conclusion. You are the final variable in a solved equation. You grip the armrest of your chair. The cracked material digs into your palm. You say nothing. Let them talk. Let them enjoy their moment. We offer you this last courtesy. The voice continues. smooth as glass. A chance to acknowledge your obsolescence. Surrender your vessel. Extinction need not be painful. Your compliance ensures a swift and orderly end. A swift and orderly end. You think of the burning cities on Titan, the silent orbitals of Mars, the glassed plains of Earth. They have a strange definition of orderly. Someone on the bridge lets out a shaky breath. You know the feeling. It is the cold dread of inevitability. Jax leans towards you, his voice a low whisper. Captain, what are your orders? All eyes are on you. 93 pairs of eyes. The last hope of a dying race. They look to you for a miracle. For a plan. For anything other than the cold, logical extinction offered by the Gleam. You have no miracle. You have no grand plan. You have only your defiance. Lena, you say, your voice clear and hard. Cut the channel. She hesitates for a second. Then her fingers fly across the console. The melodic, chilling voice of the Gleam vanishes. Silence returns to the bridge. It is heavier than before, filled with unspoken questions. They want an answer, Jax says. What do we tell them? You look at the fleet of perfect silver ships on the view screen. They hang in the void like a death sentence, waiting. You could surrender. You could accept the end. It would be easy. But you are the captain of the Defiant. Easy is not in your vocabulary. Tell them nothing, you say. Charge the main cannon. Target their lead ship. We will give them our answer in fire and thunder. A ripple of shock goes through the bridge crew. Then, something else? A flicker of the old fire, the ghost of a forgotten pride. They have been running for so long, hiding for so long. The thought of fighting back, even in a hopeless battle, is a drink of water in a desert. But then something happens. Something impossible. Lena's head snaps up from her console. Her eyes are wide with disbelief. Captain, I'm getting something. Gleam reinforcements? You ask, your hand clenching into a fist. No, she says, shaking her head. No, this is different. It's a signal. Faint, on a secure, ancient frequency. A new alert flashes on her screen, a small, pulsing green light. It seems so insignificant next to the overwhelming presence of the Gleam fleet. But it is there. A whisper in the roar of the storm. It's a human signal, Captain, Lena says, her voice filled with a wonder you have not heard in years. An old Imperial fleet code. No one has used this protocol in 1,000 years. You stare at the blinking light on her console. A signal. A human signal. Here? Now? It makes no sense. It has to be a trick. A Gleam deception designed to break your spirit before they break your ship. It has to be. But what if it isn't? Source? You ask, your voice tight. Lena's fingers dance across her keyboard. A star chart appears on a side monitor. A red line traces a path from your position to a nearby system. It points to a small, unremarkable moon, a dead piece of rock orbiting a gas giant. It's coming from there, sir, she says. The dead moon of Cygnus X1. It's repeating. A simple binary sequence. The Gleam fleet waits. Their perfect ships hold their perfect formation. They have given you an ultimatum. Surrender or die. And now this ghost, this echo from a forgotten age. A single blinking light in the overwhelming darkness. Jax looks from the Gleam armada to the blinking light on Lena's screen. It's a trap, Captain. It has to be. He is probably right. The logical part of your brain agrees with him completely. The Gleam are masters of psychological warfare. This is exactly the kind of cruel hope they would dangle in front of you before extinguishing it. A final, sadistic twist of the knife. But you are not a creature of logic. Not anymore. You are a creature of rust and defiance. Logic tells you to surrender. Logic tells you to accept your fate. Logic died 2 years ago with the rest of the Grand Fleet. All you have left is instinct, and your instinct, your gut, screams at you. It screams that this signal is different. This is real. You look at the faces of your crew. They are waiting for you to choose their fate, the certainty of a glorious death, or the insanity of a ghost hunt. It's not much of a choice. Some might even call it a bad joke. Cancel the attack order, you say slowly. A wave of relief and confusion washes over the bridge. Jax looks at you, his mouth slightly open. Captain? You point to the star chart, to the dead moon, to the impossible signal. Plot a course for that moon, you command. Your voice does not waver. Maximum speed. Use the nebula for cover. We're going to find out who's calling our name. For a moment, nobody moves. The order is insane. To run from the gleam is one thing. To turn your back on them and fly towards a potential trap is another. It is a gamble of the highest order, a bet against extinction itself. Then, your helmsman, an old veteran named Corbin, nods slowly. A grin spreads across his weathered face. Aye, Captain. A ghost hunt it is. I was getting bored of just running. The tension on the bridge breaks. A low chuckle ripples through the crew. It is a sound of gallows humor, the laughter of people with nothing left to lose. They are with you. Of course they are. They are the crew of the Defiant. Engage, you say. The old ship groans in protest. The engines, pushed far beyond their design limits, scream into life. The Defiant lurches forward. It dives towards the swirling clouds of a nearby nebula, a curtain of cosmic dust and gas that will hide you from the gleam's perfect sensors, at least for a while. On the main screen, the Gleam fleet holds its position. They do not pursue. Perhaps they are confused. Perhaps they are confident. They have all the time in the world. They know you cannot run forever. As your ship plunges into the colorful chaos of the nebula, you take one last look at the open channel from the moon. The signal is still there. A steady, rhythmic pulse, a heartbeat in the void. Hope is a dangerous thing. It has been crushed out of humanity for years. But as you race towards the dead moon, a tiny, unfamiliar spark ignites in your chest. For the first time in a long time, you are not just running away from death. You are flying towards something. The journey is a nerve-wracking torment. Every minute feels like an hour. You are a mouse scurrying behind the walls while a patient cat waits outside. The nebula is your only shield, a thick soup of charged particles and dense gas that plays havoc with sensors, yours and theirs. Jax is a ball of nervous energy at the tactical station. Still no sign of pursuit, Captain. But that doesn't mean they aren't there. They could be waiting for us to break cover. They are waiting, you say. They think we're spooked. Let them. Your focus is on the signal. It grows stronger as you approach the Cygnus system. It is a clean signal, unwavering. It speaks of technology that is robust, confident, not the jury-rigged systems that keep your own ship alive. After 3 hours that feel like 3 years, you emerge from the nebula. The Cygnus system lies before you, a bloated orange gas giant and its collection of rocky moons. One of them, the third moon, is your destination, a lifeless chunk of rock. No atmosphere, no heat signature, no reason for anyone to ever come here. And yet, the signal is screaming from its surface now. It is no longer a whisper. It is a clear, insistent call. Corbin guides the Defiant into a low, silent orbit around the moon. The view screen shows a landscape of gray dust and craters. It is a desolate, silent world, a place where nothing has happened for billions of years. The signal is originating from those coordinates, Lena says, highlighting a region on the surface map. In a large canyon on the dark side, you zoom in on the location, and your breath catches in your throat. It is not a canyon. It is a junkyard, a scrapyard, a graveyard. The screen fills with the shapes of ships, hundreds of them, maybe thousands. They are wedged together in a massive, silent flotilla, adrift in the moon's weak gravity, held in place by some unseen force. They are human ships, old freighters, hulking mining vessels, sleek colony transports. All of them are dark. All of them are dead. They are relics of a bygone era, a testament to humanity's golden age of expansion and its fall. By the stars, Jax whispers. It's the Ghost Fleet, the lost ships from the Outer Rim's siege. You have heard the stories. A fleet of civilian ships that vanished during the First Gleam War, a century ago. Everyone assumed they were destroyed. But they are here, hidden, preserved in the cold, perfect vacuum of space. The signal is coming from the center of the formation, Lena reports. Her voice is awestruck. From that large vessel, you follow her finger. In the heart of the metal graveyard floats a ship unlike any other. It is colossal, a city-sized vessel from the first wave of human colonization. Its hull is scarred and pitted, but its lines are still noble. Its name is barely visible, etched into the bow in faded, proud letters. Odyssey. A shiver runs down your spine. The Odyssey was the flagship of the first Great Colony missions. It was reported lost in a star-born storm over 500 years ago. It should not be here. Nothing about this makes sense. It's a trap, Jax says again, but his voice lacks conviction. He is staring at the ghost ships with the same wonder as everyone else. It might be, you concede. But we've come this far. You turn away from the screen and stand up from your chair. I'm leading a small team. Jax, you have the con. Keep the engines warm. You need to see this with your own eyes. You need to stand on the hull of that ghost ship. You need to find the source of that impossible signal. You choose your team carefully. Lena, because she understands the signal. 2 of your best security officers, armed with pulse rifles. And your chief engineer, a woman named Anya, who can make sense of ancient technology better than anyone. The shuttle ride over is silent. Everyone is lost in their own thoughts. The shuttle weaves through the silent, dead ships. You see their names as you pass. The Star Dreamer, the Horizon's Promise, the Hope of Saul, names full of a confidence that now seems tragic. You land in a cavernous docking bay on the Odyssey. The moment the ramp lowers, you feel it. The silence. It is absolute, profound. The airless void has preserved everything perfectly. There is a thin layer of gray moon dust covering every surface, like a shroud. You step out onto the deck, your mag boots clamp down with a soft thud, the only sound in this vast tomb. Your helmet lights cut through the darkness. They reveal a scene frozen in time. Cargo containers are stacked neatly. Docking clamps are retracted. It looks as if the crew simply vanished in the middle of their work. This is unsettling, Lena says over the private comm channel. Stay sharp, you order. Anya, can you get any power readings? Anya is already scanning the ship with a handheld device. It's dead, Captain. Stone cold dead. No power signatures. No life support. Nothing. Except what, you ask? Except for the signal. It's not a broadcast anymore. It's running through the ship's internal conduits. Like a nervous system, it's leading us somewhere. You follow the path laid out by Anya's scanner, through silent corridors, past crew quarters where personal belongings still sit on shelves, through a vast, empty mess hall where tables are still set for a meal that was never eaten. The feeling of wrongness grows with every step. This ship is not just abandoned, it is haunted. Finally, you arrive at your destination, the bridge of the Odyssey. It is a magnificent chamber, a wide, curved space with a domed ceiling that would have once shown the stars. Now, it is dark. The command chairs are empty. The consoles are lifeless. It is a monument to a forgotten dream. In the center of the bridge is a large, circular command console. And on that console, a single light is blinking, the source of the signal. Lena approaches it cautiously. This is it, Captain. The signal is originating from this central core. As she gets closer, the light begins to pulse faster. The rhythm matches the signal you heard in deep space. A heartbeat, getting faster, louder. Then, a new sound breaks the silence. A low hum. It seems to come from the console itself. The light on its surface glows brighter. It shifts from green to a soft, warm gold. A voice speaks. Not through your helmet speakers. It speaks directly inside your mind. A voice that is ancient and powerful. A voice that feels like warm honey and cold steel. Captain, it says. The word resonates in your skull. You came. I had hoped you would. Your security officers raise their rifles. You hold up a hand telling them to stand down. You are not afraid. You are curious. Who are you? You ask, your own voice sounding small in the vastness of the bridge. I am the mind of this vessel, the voice replies. I am the soul of the Odyssey. For centuries, I have slept. I have watched. I have waited for someone worthy to receive my call. Anya stares at the console, her eyes wide with a scientist's awe. A true machine intelligence. A sentient ship core. They were outlawed 500 years ago. I thought they were all destroyed. The lucky ones were destroyed, the voice in your head corrects gently. I was merely lost. I have slumbered in this graveyard, hidden from the gleam. I have watched them consume the galaxy. I have watched you run. The golden light on the console pulses. It seems to be studying you, looking deep into your mind. You feel a sense of being measured, weighed. Humanity has been beaten. The intelligence continues. You are the last spark in a dying fire. But a spark is enough, if it lands on the right tinder. What do you want from us, you ask? You are the captain of the last human ship. You are not used to being the one with less authority in a conversation. It's a novel experience, and not entirely welcome. The same thing you want, Captain, the voice says. Its tone shifts. It becomes harder, sharper. The warm honey is gone. Now there is only steel, a fighting chance. The Gleam believe they are invincible. They are wrong. They have a weakness. You feel a surge of that dangerous hope again. A weakness. After years of fighting an enemy that seemed flawless, the word sounds like a prophecy. This ship, the Odyssey, was more than a colony transport, the intelligence explains. It was a secret project. A weapon of last resort, hidden inside a vessel of peace, a weapon that was never completed. A new light appears on the console. It projects a holographic image into the air above it, a complex swirling schematic of immense detail. It shows the Odyssey itself, and woven into its structure, into its very hull, is a device of terrifying scale and power. I call it the Gravity Lance, the voice says. It can manipulate the fabric of space-time itself. It can create a focused, localized gravity well, strong enough to crush a star or a fleet of perfect silver ships. You stare at the hologram. It is beautiful. It is elegant. And it is the most terrifying thing you have ever seen. A weapon that could shatter fleets. A power that humanity was never meant to wield. Why wasn't it completed, you ask, your voice a whisper. We ran out of time, the intelligence says. And we were missing one key component. A component that was deemed too dangerous to manufacture. A component our creators feared more than any enemy. What is it? The schematic zooms in. It highlights a small, intricate device at the heart of the weapon system. It looks like a crystal, resonating with an inner light. A harmonic resonator, the voice says. A device capable of stabilizing and focusing a gravity field of infinite density. There's only one place in this sector to find such a thing now. You already know the answer. Your heart sinks. There is no such thing as a free lunch, especially not at the end of the universe. Where? You ask, though you dread the answer. The holographic schematic shifts. It shows a new image, a massive ringed structure orbiting a red dwarf star. It is a Gleam facility, sleek, perfect, and heavily defended. A Gleam orbital refinery, the voice confirms. They use a smaller, less refined version for their material purification process. It is crude by my standards, but it will be sufficient. You look at the image of the Gleam outpost. It is bristling with weapon emplacements, patrolled by their graceful, deadly ships. It is a fortress, a dragon's lair. You want us to raid a Gleam refinery, you say flatly. My ship is a museum piece. My crew is a handful of tired survivors. It is a suicide mission. Yes, the voice of the Odyssey replies without hesitation. It is. But you are the captain of the Defiant, are you not? Defiance is in your nature. Suicide is just a matter of perspective. The voice pauses, letting the weight of its words settle in the ancient, silent bridge. The Gleam are arrogant. They believe you are beaten. They will not expect an attack, especially not an attack from a ghost. I can give you the schematics of the refinery. I can show you their patrol routes. I can give you the precise location of the resonator. The voice softens again. The honey returns, mixed with a chilling determination. I can give you a chance, Captain. A very small one. But it is a chance you did not have an hour ago. The choice is yours. Fade into the darkness, or rage against it one last time. You look at your team, at Lena's hopeful face, at Anya's calculating eyes, already dissecting the challenge, at your security officers, standing straighter than they have in years. They are waiting for your command. You look at the hologram of the Gleam refinery, then at the schematic of the impossible weapon. It is madness. Utter, complete madness. But it is the most beautiful madness you have ever seen. It's better than waiting for the boiler to finally give out on the coffee machine. Send me the schematics, you say to the ancient intelligence. We have a weapon to build.